What up, world? Your boy L Boogie Browser here, the dreaded leader, checking in one time. So I'm out here on assignment this evening, local assignment, late night, overnight, and just keeping an eye on the premises for the client. Uh, but it's late, it's starting to get to the later hours of the evening. So there's not much going on, so I figured I'd take an opportunity to just check in with and drop some content, Uh, so something that I figured I'd touch on was a topic that I recently put a video on about being an employee versus or being an entrepreneur versus being an employee. And kind of to add to that video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what it means to have multiple lines of income while pursuing a business or launching a company for yourself. One of the luxuries of being an employee is that you really just have to show up every day. You know what you're going to get paid because that's what you agreed to when you got hired. Until you get a raise or a review and you potentially get a raise, which I directly related to my previous experience and why I decided to become an entrepreneur myself. Is a previous company I worked for, after putting in a good amount of time with that company and really showing my value and how I can be an asset with room to grow, but just proving to be an asset with that company. Long story short, I got offered a 50-cent raise. And that didn't sit well with me because I felt that there was more worth, or that I felt like I had more value. So, again, this is why I decided to launch my own company, Perspective Home Solutions. And in doing that, now going into my second year of operation, I'm really learning a lot, not only about what it means to be an entrepreneur, but learning a lot about myself and what it is that I want. Again, these are some of the things that you have to address if you think about going into entrepreneurship. But I talked about those things in the last video, so in this one, I'm just kind of talking about the necessity of having multiple lines of income. Back in my bartending days, I remember having a conversation with a patron, and the lady stated that she didn't see why a man in this day and age needs to have several hustles and not just a good job. Well, that right there, I think, is the first problem that we are, since elementary school, taught to become workers or employees, to get a job working for a company, and then in turn build that company and then get a pay through that company based on whatever work you're doing. And I thought about that at that time, and in a different stage that I was in, and actually kind of felt that way because I had a couple hustles at the time, and I felt like, well, maybe I just need to go out here and get a good job and be a part of the workforce, which I did, and of course, that is what it is. But I came to find out years later that for me, having multiple lines of income or having multiple ways that you get paid is a better route for me. Everybody's wired differently, psychologically, or driven in different ways. So what works for me may not work for you, but just from my viewpoint, having the ability to spend less time on one project or one task, so that way I can fulfill that task and then move on to something else within reason. We're not talking about scattering. We're talking about have a specific set of tasks that you use in order to bring income into your home or to your life. So in my case, I have my audio video company, Perspective Home Solutions. I also do contract security work. I do not work as a security personnel for any one company, but if there is a company that I specifically contract through, but it is an option for me to take on those assignments like tonight. So as well as I also got into rideshare and driving for Lyft. So for me, those are the three ways that I use to generate income for myself and my home. So specifically, Perspective Home Solutions. Uh, I'm doing my installations, home theater TVs or whatnot, working a lot of new construction homes, surveillance, lighting, landscape lighting, indoor outdoor lighting fixtures and things of that nature. So that's one way. But because of the nature of business and services, if I offer a service and the market dries up for one reason or another, I need to have another way to bring income in so that at the end of the month or at the beginning of the month when the bills are due, I have money to do it. So in short, what I like to do is encourage you to find another way. If you are seeking entrepreneurship, is find something else that you enjoy doing that you can incorporate with balance into your income making, so that you have the ability to make money when one flow slows down. You can tap into another flow to make sure that your needs are met. This is beneficial because it keeps you from bottoming out and giving up on your dream. Because if you're not working full time, specifically with either of these tasks, then when you have the option to go in and out of each, still you want to become a craftsman in your field of choice, but you also want to have something that is less labor intensive that you can use in order to tap into income when the times, or when in time of in the dry times. And then at the same time, in the times of plenty, with the initial business, you don't find yourself taking away from the other entity. You see, I take nothing away from my security work when I'm doing my AV work, right? But if the AV work slows up, I can always tap into the security work, and if, worst case scenario, I can always jump in my vehicle and go drive and make some money. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to the higher end status of having an abundance of money where I can just say, you know what, I'm just going to do nothing and just sit on this money that I have. As in the case with a lot of people in the world today that either are trying to find a way to make it work or busting their ass to make ends meet. I believe you get what you put in. If you work hard, you get back. I like to think that you get back a good amount of income on top of that. So, or for doing that. That's not always the case when you work for somebody else. You can bust your ass and feel like you didn't get what you put in, and then at the end of the day, beginning of the day, you're upset and not looking forward to going to that job because you don't feel like your value is appreciated or you're being paid based on what it is that you that the quality or level of work that you're doing. So again, if you have the idea or you think that you might want to get into entrepreneurship, also take into account that it's good to have multiple forms of income, because with multiple forms of income you can take that risk and have something to I'll say fall back on, but that security blanket in the event, because if you're in the event of lack, because if you're a breadwinner in your family and you're trying to launch a company and food still has to be put on the table, lights got to be kept on, things of that nature, you need something else to be there in the event of. This takes nothing away from the master plan. The master plan is to build your business and be successful. So the idea is that you can still do that, but make sure that you cover your own ass, because if you're like me in my situation, there's nobody else there to pick up the slack. I can't go to mommy and daddy for money. I can't reach out to friends and say, hey, I need something, because normally I won't ask in the first place, but I'm also a firm believer that everybody else has problems or issues or life of their own that they need to apply their finances to. So who am I to go try to tap into their finances when I'm highly capable of managing my own? So yeah, that's my my bit there as far as having multiple lines of income in the event that you're looking to start a business. I would encourage that. I am no expert, no business expert of any kind. I'm just getting an entrepreneurship myself in my second year now, and it's going well. And you know, I just want to encourage other people to take that leap of faith and find out what it is that you enjoy, pursue it, and do it. So that said, take it easy, and I'll be back with y'all shortly to talk about something else. Take care. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. I appreciate it. Trying to get things going with the whole YouTube movement and all that. Just gotta get some stuff done for my channel. So you guys, you were L Boogie Brazzle signing off, man. Dread Leo. Take it easy. God blessings.